Welcome to Apples and Oranges, a podcast of ha-has and hee-hees, but also debates and grudges had on this very podcast. I'm Matthew.
I'm Jack.
And with us today, we have the very funny comedian, writer, maybe perhaps we'll find other things he does, Jake Seifert.
Thank you very much. Happy to be here.
Happy to have you here. Now, did I pronounce your last name correctly?
You did not.
Fuck! Okay, what Seifert?
Closer.
What is it?
Let me give
Seifert.
Seifert.
Yeah.
Oh, like a cipher.
I was about
Yeah.
to say, we need the Seifert cipher.
I tend not to pronounce the last letter because just the way I talk. So now all the kids at the school I work at think I'm possessed by Bill Cipher. It's a very serious problem. Like they keep trying to figure out my first name. I'm not allowed to tell them.
You're not allowed to tell them your first name?
I'm not allowed, but
That's
they're very
interesting.
persistent.
So they, as far as they're concerned, you're Bill.
Yeah, and they're very scared about that.
It's interesting that all these kids are watching Gravity Falls because I feel like that show's been over for a long time.
Well, yeah, but a cartoon's a cartoon, and I think Gravity Falls ranks pretty high amongst those.
I think
Yeah.
so too. I remember when that came out, I was like, when they would drop trailers, I'm like, I'm intrigued by this.
Yeah.
That and Phineas and Ferb was dropping trailers, I was like, I'm gonna watch this.
Oh
For
yeah,
sure.
Phineas and Ferb is probably the upper echelon. I mean, I don't want to start debating too soon. But,
True.
Yeah.
Well, that's actually so. On this podcast, we debate disparate topics
That's right.
against our guests,
Mhm.
and we always ask them, "Do you have any debate experience?"
none formal. I have argued quite a bit.
That counts.
People say that I can be obstinate, and I think that's going to give me a real advantage on this platform.
Oh, great. So, for instance,
Mm-hmm.
if I were to if I were to tell you an obvious falsehood, would you dig your heels in about it?
An
You-
obvious falsehood?
Yeah.
Well, it depends on the falsehood, I think.
If I were to go like, that refrigerator isn't there.
And I'm supposed to tell you that it is?
Yeah, I mean, would you, or would you just let it go? Would you let it roll off you?
There are certain I do like to pick my battles.
Sure.
There are certain things that I will let slide, but every man has his breaking point. I think if I had come to know that fridge so intimately that it felt like a friend of mine, then I really would die on the hill of that fridge being there.
Sure, makes sense.
Yeah.
And for the record, folks, just so there's no confusion at home, that fridge is definitely
Guys,
there.
the fridge is here.
The fridge
Let
is
there be
here.
no panic in the chat or in the comments. The fridge is here.
Yeah.
This is live, by the way,
this-
so there is a chat.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there is. It's live.
Do they like me, you think?
Chat?
Yeah.
What do we think? Let me check the chat.
All right, I'm going to pop it open, see what the chat thinks.
Yeah, they like you. They like you. No,
Like
imagine
the way that sounds.
No, I do think we should do a live apples and oranges at some point.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We have a chat?
Well, I think we'd have the chat decide who wins the debates.
Sure.
Oh, yes.
Or
Yeah.
you can do a live chat, just invite an audience and let them talk.
Yeah, there's
That's
no
a
way that
great
could
idea.
backfire. People, random online people are known for having like good takes and
Good takes, very measured, and they talk very sensibly and quietly.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
which is what we want. I've always said this podcast needed to be quiet.
Mm-hmm. That's why we're doing it in the New York Public Library,
Yeah.
in a special side room.
Yeah,
that
we
looks like
actually
your
book
apartment.
this room every time we bring our furniture in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's a breakout room.
Yeah, they don't like us here.
No.
They get mad.
Yeah.
But we get rights to the New York Public Library because
We're New
my dad
Yorkers.
is Eric Adams.
Oh, true.
Wow. Yeah. I didn't actually know that. I thought your dad was Ed Koch.
No, but we are related in a fun way you wouldn't expect.
In the way that all mayors are related.
That's right.
Yeah.
Bound by the blood of the love for New York City.
Yeah.
That's right.
Have y'all been following the race?
The mayor's race?
Yeah.
I did a canvas for Zoran
Really?
a while back. Yeah,
Oh,
I
hell
knocked
yeah.
on people's doors. I never want to do that again. I did it because I care about the issue, but God, I don't know. I grew up in a very similar neighborhood to the one I was canvassing in, and I used to get my door knocked on by annoying canvassers all the time, and
Mhm.
now I've become what I hated most.
And now you don't want to vote for him because
Yeah,
he
yeah.
made you do that.
I'm voting for Curtis Sliwa.
Is he still around? Is he still running?
I assume he's the only New York Republican who can win a primary.
Yeah, that's why I'm always wearing my red beret.
Yeah.
I think Curtis Sliwa like is the future of this country. Like, I think if Trump were to get like assassinated, like alternate timeline, Trump gets assassinated like while on the campaign trail.
That
Curtis
guy
Sliwa,
doesn't miss.
Yeah, that guy doesn't
Yeah.
miss. Curtis Sliwa would have like so seamlessly been able to step in and just be like, I'm the same guy. We also do red hats, and
Yeah.
we'd just be like, we love you.
You know, the thing is, it's a shame that JoJo has distanced herself from her father.
Jojo Sliwa.
Jojo Sliwa?
Maybe that's just a character we should pitch to someone who could perform that.
Jojo Sliwa.
Yeah,
It's fun. I can't imagine what that would be, but
it would just be JoJo's songs, but it's like conservative.
uh-huh.
Or it would be
Isn't
Curtis, and he's doing
Curtis
JoJo.
Sliwa?
You know,
his,
she
like-
invented public safety pop.
Yeah. Ooh, there you.
Yeah.
It writes itself.
Mhm.
100 Is this not just 100 sketches sketch?
Yeah, it's just-
Jojo Sliwa. Yeah.
Yeah.
pretty good. Right, because his whole thing, his whole like angle is all about like public safety. Like, we are going to like form gangs to just like stand in public places and
Right.
like
I mean,
make
they
people-
used to.
we need a
They
militia.
did used to do that.
Yeah, it was just like,
he had the thing. The Guardian Angels are like the best idea by the worst guy, because it's like a civilian, non-violent public safety force. They just are incredibly racist.
Yeah, I know. I just want to start a militia with all our friends.
Yeah,
Just to have a militia, and maybe I think I'd want to dress unique. I just want to have like a crew. That's why I like him. We just gotta have more crews.
yeah.
We match. We wear uniforms. Like basically, the Warriors is what I'm pitching.
I was
want
thinking
you to be like
Warriors
the
too,
Warriors.
yeah.
Yeah.
I like the baseball guys from the Warriors.
I only remember like the main guys who
Hmm.
are like dressed like Native Americans but are from Coney Island.
Yeah, they're these guys from, let's say, Chelsea, and
Right.
they dress in like the New York Yankees like pinstripe suits, but their faces are painted like in elaborate like commedia dell'arte, like it'll be like half orange and half black or something like that.
Those are the
Yeah.
guys who are going to take the NYPD down.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's the baseball boys.
You ever you ever get 3 beer bottles and just do the thing?
Oh yeah.
Of course. Oh my
Yeah.
God. Every time.
Every
My
time
dad
I've gotten
always had
arrested,
growing
it's
up.
because
Yeah.
I did that to the cops.
Come out to play.
Yeah. Well, we've got two Warriors on this couch right now, actually.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And they're gonna have to sort of battle it out
Yeah.
with two topics that have just been selected.
Oh my god. By us?
No.
What?
By the generator, of course,
Oh, that's how this podcast
By something
works.
far beyond our control.
and our understanding.
A higher power.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I'm. By the way,
The one who selected the Pope, right? It's the topic generator chose the Pope
Yes,
recently.
you
right?
did
the
today.
random Pope generator did it.
Like, that fun fact, that's how a conclave works.
Yeah.
That
They go in a
movie was very fictionalized.
Yeah. They needed it to last an hour and a half. It really takes like 60 seconds, and then they just hang out for 2 days.
it's a vacation, and it's
Yeah.
honestly they'll spend some years though to say, this is a great conclave. We're just going to stay in here for weeks because we don't want to see our homies and the outside world and do our duties. It's a vacation in a beautiful chapel. Why you'd want the conclave to last forever?
Yeah.
Right.
Honestly, you chill in there, you get Uber Eats.
I've heard that
It'd be amazing.
I've heard that like the papal mimosa is really a higher plane of existence.
Oh,
once
I'm
you
sure
pass.
it's
I
absolutely
believe that.
elite.
Yeah, they have their own militias to hang out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there was in like 50s, 60s, whenever they did Vatican II, turn of the century, they did Vatican III, and that was switching over from a traditional conclave to a random Pope generator.
Yeah.
Mhm. Right.
I kind of think our Warriors gang should dress like Cardinals.
Yeah.
That's one for the new Warriors reboot. That'd be sick.
Did
But
they
we would
have-
need like a face paint.
Did they have like a Hasidic Jewish gang in that?
Oh, they should have. Just like one for each neighborhood. So it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
we're the Williamsburg gang.
That's
That's
sick.
great.
Anyway, the topics.
Mhm.
Okay, Jake.
Yeah.
We'll be debating in favor of a holiday of your choice.
A holiday of my choice. Okay.
And Matthew, a part of the body.
Part of the body.
And I'm gonna vamp until either of y'all has a topic and wants to jump in and do an opening statement. But
I'll say my body part of choice is the pineal gland.
the pineal gland.
Yeah,
That
the pineal
is-
gland.
Holy shit.
That is a tough thing to debate against. It's hard to argue against the pineal gland, but
well, before you reveal your topic, I want to hear Matt's
all right.
opening statement. So you can,
yeah, sure.
My opening statement is the pineal gland is what puts us in helps us connect with different planes of reality. And I think my issue with holidays is that, as sort of like religiously ecstatic as one could feel on a given holiday, you will never truly be placed inside of a different plane of reality because your pineal gland needs to be stimulated with psychedelic drugs. I'll yield my time.
Okay.
Listen. Nobody in this room can or would dare to argue that the pineal gland isn't the greatest part of the human body.
Thank you.
But does it stack up to the local Boston holiday of Evacuation Day? I don't think it does.
Evacuation Day?
This is a real thing.
Oh my god.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Different from Patriots Day.
Different from Patriots Day, which
You
is
got
also
two?
Yeah. Well, actually, we also had Bunker Hill Day up until recently.
They scrapped it?
They scrapped it because they made Juneteenth and Bunker Hill Day was the day directly before, and there was already no reason to do it.
Yeah.
Evacuation Day, in the 50s, Mayor Curley of Boston, who succeeded Mayor Moe and was succeeded by Mayor Larry, he wanted a reason to take work off on St. Patrick's Day. So he had people go into the history books and find anything that in Boston's history that happened on March 17th. That's the day that St. Patrick's Day is, right?
I'll fact check you.
Sounds roughly the season.
Yeah, he got them to look in the history books and find anything worth celebrating that happened on St. Patrick's Day, and they found that on March 17th in the 1770s, I don't know which year, the Continental Army had forced the British to evacuate Dorchester Heights, which is one part of one neighborhood of the city. And because of that, everyone got to take off work on St. Patrick's Day. And I know you told me I was allowed to lie, but that was all true.
I've just fact checked it. It is all true.
I'm
I'm not sure about those mayors, but
Mayor Curley, yeah, and Mayor Larry and Mayor Moe.
What about Mayor Shemp?
Mayor Shemp really only served for a couple of months before he was deposed by Mayor Moe. Yeah, we had a violent history of mayoral takeovers in Boston. Really only stopped with Menino in the 90s. He ate a soup comprised of the former mayor.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Anyway, your fucking pineal gland can't stack up to that shit.
all right. Is that your opening statement?
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, we're opening. Yeah, that's my statement.
Cool. All right, the floor is open. Let's hear it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Yeah, I think that sounds like a sorry excuse for a holiday for drunkards.
I mean, like, it is for drunkards, but these are the greatest drunkards on the planet. Like we're professional drunkards over there in Boston, and we keep our pineal glands so pristine. Like, we do have an appreciation for it, you know?
Sure.
You know, but Evacuation Day is the one day that we get to throw that all away. And we can feel the happiness that you can feel without worrying about your pineal gland so much. And gland? Is that? It's a gland.
It's a gland.
It's a gland. Okay.
Yeah.
It's glandular.
Like, it's nice to not always have it on your mind. There is something more to life than the pineal gland.
Such as Evacuation Day.
Such as Evacuation Day. That was the day that the British moved from Dorchester Heights, which was here, to regular Dorchester, which was here. And our nation is so much better for that having happened.
Yeah, Evacuation Day, they call it that because everyone's evacuating their stomachs because they're vomiting.
Actually, they call it that because everyone's peeing. You think you know.
I think I know.
Yeah.
Well, and I do think I know. Okay. So they call it evacuation day. I'm doing another one. They call it evacuation day because everyone's evacuating from contributing to the local economy and the national economy.
And they call it the pineal gland because it's a real penis gland.
Fuck.
It was either that or another P one.
Yeah.
And I like to be variable. I like to be full of surprises, like evacuation day, and unlike the pineal gland, which only has one function, a function that I have no idea what it is, but I know it's only one.
So I guess my thing with like evacuation day, it's like that's all it is. It's not even. It's just St. Patrick's Day.
Right, it's just St. Patrick's Day, but it's like it's a more civilized and smart sounding St. Patrick's Day.
It's just a more like removed and pointless version of St. Patrick's Day.
Right, but I mean like St. Patrick's Day isn't removed and pointless at this point. St. Patrick is famous for getting rid of all the snakes in Ireland. There were no snakes in Ireland. There continue to be to this day no snakes in Ireland.
Because of St. Patrick.
Yeah, and we gave it just that small amount of meaning that it didn't have before. And it's surprising because we were all so drunk when we figured this out.
Well, and speaking of finding meaning, how better to find meaning than by like stimulating your pineal gland?
There you go again.
It is the source of all meaning inside human life can be found inside the pineal gland. Because it is the third eye. It is the gateway to other dimensions.
Like, we all know that's true, and like I can't argue against this. You know, like you brought me
checkmate, liberal.
Like giving a pineal gland. You brought me into a gunfight and gave me a knife, really. But I'm just saying, opening your third eye is one thing, but it's the simple things in life. It's celebrating with your brothers in arms that the British are now several blocks away from where they started.
It's about the simple things, I agree. Like doing Molly with the machine elves.
Yeah, like doing Molly with the machine elves.
You can only do when pineal gland.
Actually, I did Molly with the machine elves using a different gland once, but I won't go on a tangent on this podcast.
Oh, please.
I'm sorry. I do have to interject for a second. Was Ashley Judd really in Heat?
So we got this Heat poster here. Ashley Judd was in Heat. She played the love interest for one of the characters.
Huh.
Perchance it was Al Pacino or Robert De Niro or Val Kilmer. All three of them got a female love interest with very limited screen time.
You kind of have to wonder like how much better that movie could have been if it was Winona Judd instead of Ashley Judd. Yeah. Okay, so Evacuation Day.
Evacuation Day.
There is, I'm realizing very little to say about this holiday, but that's the point, really. Like, what little there is to say is leaps and bounds better than the pineal gland. Like, I remember when I was in first grade, the joy we felt of having a Monday off in the middle of March.
And just getting wasted. Bunch of first graders knocking back Guinness out on Were you
on the
splitting
town.
G's?
Huh?
Were you splitting the G?
Oh, yeah. Please. We learned to do that at our christening.
That's a classic Boston christening, teaching the kids how to split the G.
Split the G's, yeah. You learn it at the christening, and then at your first communion, you have to do it, or else you can't be Catholic.
Oh, that's a shame.
I did it wrong, and that's why I'm Jewish.
All the popes, by the way, all the cardinals, the American Pope, they all split the G.
They all split the G. They all split the G with incredible precision. Like they're splitting the G and then splitting it good enough to be Pope.
Yeah,
you know.
You think it's easy to be a cardinal? Try splitting the G, then we'll talk.
And talk we will.
Oh,
I'm ready for some closing statements.
Closing statements?
All right, who'd you like to hear from?
I heard from Jake first, as I heard from you first at the beginning.
Ladies and gentlemen, are we so diluted as a people, as a race, that we can no longer appreciate the simple pleasures of being out with your friends, puke dripping down your chin, falling over cobblestones and snapping your wrists. All because the British were driven from the top of a hill to the bottom of that same hill. Are you telling me that you would rather sit in the dark, stimulating some tiny part of your brain, trying to figure out what that thing does, when you could be out roaming the streets of the North End, showing everybody what that thing does? I yield my time to my associate here.
Splendid.
Cheers. Evacuation Day is a scam. It's a hoax day. It's just St. Patrick's Day. It is an extremely shallow excuse to drink. The pineal gland is like unique among all body parts. It can take you to a fully different dimension. It's nice that it's like a part of the brain that has like such a like unique quality. We call it a gland. And I think doing Molly with the machine elves sounds a lot more pleasurable to me than splitting the G with a bunch of cardinals in what heights? What were the heights? Dorchester Heights.
Yeah.
Whatever. That's the name of like every neighborhood in Boston. Is like Dorchester.
Well, that's kind of true, but that's beside the point.
No, that's my entire point. I rest everything on that. I yield my time.
Wow. Well done, lads. That was great performance from both of y'all.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I think that I must say, I think we all agree that the gland is better as a thing.
But
Look, apples and oranges. That's the point of the show, is that we put other things that are.
It's about the debate.
It's about the debate, and I really think that, Jake, I think your debate was strong. I think we were hearing more about this evacuation. I think you explained it.
You knew the history.
You knew the history.
I knew nothing about the pineal
Matt knew
gland.
nothing. I was doing some research. You didn't really
literally
scratch the
know
surface
nothing
at
I
about
all.
the
also
pineal
know
gland.
nothing. I was trying to talk it up too, and I also know nothing about
No, but we love it. It's our favorite gland.
What does it do?
What did you find out about the pineal gland? Maybe we can all learn something.
Circadian rhythm.
Oh shit!
Really
Yeah.
essential shit. I
That
could have
is actually very
Yeah,
important.
Yeah,
Probably more important than drinking in the street
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or doing Molly with machine elves.
or
Yeah.
doing Molly with machine elves,
Yeah,
which I guess you could do in your dreams. Like you got there.
yeah,
Yeah.
I guess. Sorta.
Yeah.
Machine elves don't show up in your dreams. They're on a whole. That's another plane, but machine elves are on a deeper plane.
Why can't machine elves show up in your dreams sometimes?
Because
It's not
the
a real
machine
machine
elves.
elf.
Because the machine elves are just like they're just the architects. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but like, are we really sequestering them to some realm beyond our dreams? They can't have a fucking vacation.
So you've seen them in your dreams.
No,
No one
but-
has.
Yeah, no, and I'm saying that's fucked up. We should allow the machine elves a little bit of freedom of movement.
I agree. Well, my thing with the machine elves is like, why don't they just come out to play? Why aren't they just- They're all around us. Machine elves come out to play. Come on.
You think maybe if they came out to play, that would advance them as are they a race? Are they a race?
I think they're an interdimensional race. Yeah.
Interdimensional race?
Yeah.
Or an interdimensional ethnicity.
Do we think if the machine elves like showed up, like that, like the things around us would be like made of them and thus all destroyed by like the presence of the elves themselves? Like, would all of our homes like break because like parts of the foundation were made of the machine elves?
No, I think the machine elves would all give us garage extensions and build our houses even bigger.
What if you don't have a garage to start with? Does that just do
They
just
kill
get
you.
A oh,
They kill you with a
Machine elves
pistol.
kill you, yeah.
yeah.
well, I guess we're kind of fucked.
Yeah, no, we're screwed.
Yeah,
We
none
don't
of
want
us
them
have
to come.
garages.
Yeah.
But I guess you got to be okay with that if you want the machine elves to.
Come out and play.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Speaking of playing,
Mm-hmm.
Jack's ready to play.
I'm ready to play.
Am I
Okay.
debating you now?
Yes,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
that
right.
should have been explained.
Yeah.
When I was like, no, it's over.
It's over.
Go home. You lose.
Alrighty. Jack, you're going to be arguing in favor of a sitcom.
Let's go.
Jake, you're going to be arguing in favor of an author.
An author.
Yes.
Okay.
In the meantime, I'll just make my plea to the machine elves. Machine elves, please come and party. We'll we'll split the G with you guys.
We'll split the G like the Pope.
That's right.
Yeah.
I've got a sitcom.
Okay.
2.5 Men. Men. It's goated. It has a genius the premise is genius. The little boy is adorable. And let me tell you something. The Charlie Sheen crash out is the cherry on top. And what were you even arguing in favor of? What's your topic? An author? Oh my gosh. No author could, the greatest author of all time are the writers of that show. I yield. I want to hear what you have to say.
The greatest authors of all time. Is calling the kid a half man really that good a premise?
Yes.
Or is the kid one of the men? Is one of the other ones the half man? Is John Cryer the half man?
I was thinking John Cryer's the half man.
That's what's beautiful about it is that it's
he is
open
kind of
to interpretation
throughout that whole show, right? I really haven't seen it. The fact that we're supposed to equate Charlie Sheen and Ashton Kutcher and just be okay with that really takes me out of the whole thing. And maybe the writers are accomplished, but I don't think that they have the conceptual wisdom and the sheer foresight and imagination to be on par with St. John, who wrote the Book of Revelation. This guy went to an island, saw the end of the world, and wrote it down. And we've all read the Book of Revelation cover to cover, right?
This is a Christian podcast.
This is a Christian podcast. Why you invited me on here, I don't know, but I came loaded.
Oh my god, you're wasted.
Yeah.
How many G's did you sweat before you got here?
I was thinking about the apocalypse, and it just kept coming. Listen, this guy imagined 4 horsemen, war, pestilence, famine, and dopey. And dopey. Simply the worst of them all. And I'm realizing that keeping on saying that the Book of Revelation was imagined is going to piss off some of your viewers, but
it's a Christian podcast.
I think we need to appreciate this genius and this work of lore that we've just incorporated into our society fully. You know, beyond 2.5 Men, beyond Charlie Sheen, beyond even, dare I say, Ashton Kutcher.
Is the floor open?
Floor. Hold it. Is open.
Okay. These are the ramblings of a madman, not an author. This dude is crazy. And so I really think that I could just go out in the street and see any person rambling about the end of the world. It's not special. In lore, this guy sounds like a nerd to me. You know who's not a nerd? Charlie Sheen. And his character in 2.5 Men is the most suave, cool guy ever. And amidst his crash out, his ramblings are amazing. Tiger blood, winning. Book of Revelations is trash compared to these awesome catchphrases. Any person can... as we speak, there are a bunch of Johns out there in the street.
You say John's?
St. John's.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Not guys who pay for sex.
Oh,
Yeah.
no. I was thinking John's, like JAWN. Like just
well,
just like anything.
They're
any
out
old
there
John.
too.
Yeah.
I find it so amusing that you say that St. John sounds like a madman when the writers of 2.5 Men expect us to believe a story of a single father who raises a child on his own in LA. That's a collective community out there. They expect you. They need you to... It takes a village, you know? It takes a village to raise a child. In 2.5 Men, it makes it... They make it seem like only John Cryer and Charlie Sheen are bringing this young man up to be successful. And we all know what's going to happen to that man. He's going to go out into the world, and he's going to see all of these kids who were built in a loving and nurturing community, and he simply is going to melt away under the heat of his own embarrassment and sadness, similar to how the non-believers melt away in the book of Revelations.
This Revelations is nonsense, and you clearly haven't seen the show because we know that he grows up to be virtuous and moral, because he has, what on the surface appear to be two total flops, Charlie just sort of being wry and crazy, and John Cryer just being beta cuck. But it's through viewing them detachedly as the half man that he learns what not to do. And it's really the side characters that impart the best wisdom upon him that he takes in.
Like what side characters?
Like Shirley and Craig.
Okay.
And
Smithfield.
Smithfield, of course.
Yeah.
Smithfield.
But
how could I forget Smithfield?
Look,
he won an Emmy.
Look, yeah, Smithfield did win an Emmy. This is beside the point. Revelation is just madness. And talk about order. These two men bring a lot of order to that little half man's life.
Wow.
I mean, you talk about you're only talking about Charlie Sheen. I'm the only one who's brought up Ashton Kutcher so far.
Well, you're right.
If you're putting 2.5 Men up against the Book of Revelation, you have to bring Ashton Kutcher into it. If you can't find anything good to say about the Ashton Kutcher parts of 2.5 Men, you've already lost, because the Book of Revelations is flawless from beginning to end, from the prophecy right up until Judgment Day, the kingdom lasting 1,000 years. Who thinks of that? I hit myself so hard just now doing that.
That was a loud slap.
That mic definitely picked that up.
That was the slap of the podcast. But here's what I'll say. Look,
this is the Will Smith slap of the podcast.
Look, he's rambling about Revelations, hitting himself in the head. We have a madman. He should plead insanity now, because the Ashton Kutcher times were not terrible. Look, they signal the end of an empire, the decline. And also, as a true watcher of this show and fan of the many side characters,
like Smithfield,
I'm counting as part of the canon of 2.5 Men, Charlie's live streams and interviews and his whole crash out get looped in with 2.5 Men, because to love a show, you have to, because what is the Book of Revelations if not being in the context of the rest of the Bible? So I'm taking the Charlie Sheen career as part of the show, because that really makes you endear for
okay.
Yeah, but
Ashton.
I'm question for you.
Yeah.
You're taking all that in.
Yeah.
Do you also take in the parts of John Cryer's memoir where he talks about the crash out?
Yes, John Cryer. Any John Cryer IP I'm taking. I'm actually taking in God, what was that movie he was in?
Pretty in Pink.
Movie? Pretty in Pink?
Oh, yeah, I'm taking Pretty in Pink as well.
Ducky. He's taking Ducky.
Well, fuck me. If you get
mine.
If you get Pretty in Pink, I get a couple other holy books.
Yeah, you can take some holy books. Let's expand this debate.
Yeah, what else are your picks?
Yeah.
What are your picks?
Book of Mormon.
Okay. You should get some horror movies while you're at it.
I should get some horror movies. Halloween 2.
Okay. Season of the Witch? No, that's 3.
Who the fuck knows? It's all Halloween.
Okay. Except for the third one where they switched the subject of the movie and Mike Myers isn't even in it.
Is that true?
The Halloween franchise is an absolute mess. The third movie, they were like, actually, Halloween's an anthology series, so different horror stories set on Halloween.
But then they made the rest of the Halloween movies about Mike Myers because they were so embarrassed by that, basically.
Yeah, but I've heard that one's actually good.
Huh. Maybe they shouldn't have had it in. Maybe they shouldn't have had him in it at all.
Maybe they should have just made that movie and not called it Halloween 3.
Oh, you know what? I also want to take Saw, because I found out today that Saw is set on September 10th, 2001.
And for my next trick. Whoa, what if Saw actually orchestrated 9/11?
We live in that timeline. That's exactly
what happened. Yeah.
Osama bin Laden shit, that was a false flag. Osama bin Laden was not a real person. That was AI. It was all Saw.
Yeah. This puppet is at large.
You don't remember seeing Osama bin Laden on that tape riding around on the tricycle with the mask?
That's sick.
All right, well...
Are you going to be able to release this?
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely.
And we're going to title it The Ghost of Osama.
Okay, great. Great. I just want to make sure that like all of our points get out into the world.
Well, this is going to be called Jake Seifert in The Ghost of Osama.
There was a really good title I was thinking about earlier. I've written down. I forgot what the phrase was there. Something from the first debate. I'll look at it in a sec. But are you ready for closing?
I am ready for closings.
I think Jake goes first.
Yeah. Okay. Jake, why don't you go first?
Love.
Yes.
Yes.
Completion,
Oh.
devotion,
Ah.
sex,
Ooh.
politics,
Hmm.
all of which come together to make really the greatest piece of writing of all time. Separate from the rest of the Bible. The rest of the Bible can go to hell for all I care. Revelation is all I need. And it should be all you need too. St. John went to an island. He went to an island to do this. The writers of 2.5 Men, they did it somewhere in LA, probably in a coffee shop. They didn't take their imagination to the true extent that they needed, and thus made a half-baked sitcom, as opposed to a fully baked tome that we remember to this day. The fact that you can't even bring Ashton Kutcher into this shows me that you don't have the determination or the will to actually measure up 2.5 Men to the Book of Revelations. I yield my time.
Well, I'd like to start off by addressing that Ashton has been in this with me this whole time. Ashton has been here, and no, he's been a part of this argument because, honestly, Charlie needed to go to his island, and 2.5 Men, of course, had to have someone fill his shoes, and I really thought that Ashton, he just added that vanilla that we needed in 2.5 Men, that nice plain pasta with just butter and salt, and it toned things down because they were going too spicy for too long. And I think I like my roller coasters to end and not to kill me, like Revelations, the tome of a madman. I don't know why this island, you don't need to go to an island when you have tiger's blood. I yield my time.
Part of my one of my dings against you was going to be the lack of tiger blood mentions, but then you know
Tiger blood. I could have talked about tiger blood. I could have debated only tiger blood, but I had to restrain
it's
myself.
not a sitcom.
Could
Well,
you
it's not-
tell how little I actually know about the Bible?
It's
through that?
impressive.
No,
You knew
dude,
about
you're
it.
a great
I
argument. I don't know shit about 2.5 Men.
Yeah, you know like a lot about you know a lot about a little of everything. It seems.
A jack of all
I
trades.
try to showcase that on a daily basis. It brings me pleasure.
Well, you knew a fair amount about the Bible, and I would say that was a winning debate.
I think so too.
Oh
Yeah.
wow, thank you. I would have given that to Jack, honestly.
I would say all the debates today have been like very even. That's been one of my takeaways thus far.
I appreciate coming here and being challenged. It's really been fun.
Splendid.
Well,
Yeah.
it's been very fun as well. But the fun's not over. Not only do we potentially have time for another debate,
We definitely do. It's not even
yeah,
40
these
minutes.
are some nice
yeah.
short debates. I actually have a mini game for us.
Oh,
Let's
wow.
go.
Okay.
I love
Okay,
a
mini game time, and we're all going to work together on this one.
Mhm.
So of course there were 4 main characters in 2.5 Men. It was Charlie Sheen and John Cryer and the Half Man, August something, and
Is that his real name?
his real name's like August something. I
Okay.
forget. And Ashton Kutcher.
Uh-huh.
So and of course there are 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So-
who is who?
Who is who?
Wait, remind me
Oh.
of the 4 horsemen.
War, pestilence, famine, and dopey.
And Dopey.
Dopey.
So-
Okay.
War, famine, pestilence, and Dopey.
Ashton is dopey.
Yeah, Ashton's got to
Yeah,
be dopey.
he's pretty dopey.
and no way Charlie Sheen isn't pestilence. Come on.
No,
I
I kind of
think John Cryer's
John
pestilence.
Cryer's pestilence. I think.
Yeah,
So then the kid has to be famine, right? And Charlie Sheen's war.
I agree with that. I think
Yeah,
Charlie Sheen's
'cause
war. He's got
tiger's
tiger
blood-
blood.
yeah,
He's got
he's
fucking
got
tiger
tiger
blood.
blood.
He's got fucking. There's no way he's not war. He's got tiger blood.
So
Come on.
and the kid is famine because he's always starving for affection, and there's no. He
Yeah,
never gets any.
doesn't he forget him at like soccer practice for 6 hours in one episode?
I'm sure that kid is fucked.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
And it's like he's only a half man because he's like withered away so much from famine.
That kid's 47.
That was actually Andy Serkis in a mocap suit. Yeah, I think the generator's a calling.
The generators are calling you. It's time for another round here. I'm gonna see because right now you're the champion, so I gotta take you on. I gotta.
See if the hunchback of the podcast can
We need to establish I'm the hunchback of the podcast.
You're the
Yeah,
hunchback of the
so
podcast.
on
Okay.
the 100th episode.
We've been doing this every episode.
Every
for like 10
episode for
episodes.
times we mention this, and we're gonna
Uh-huh.
mention it
for the next
for the
90
next
episodes.
90. It's part of one of my mandates. So we had a 100th episode. I beat Matt in the debate.
Mhm.
So now for the next 100 episodes, I am the head hundo of the podcast. And
Okay.
Matt is that,
I'm the head hunchback.
Okay, got it.
and we've been immortalized by our statuettes.
See the
Oh,
big one
wow.
over there? That's Jack,
Uh-huh.
and there I am, all raisin like.
Yeah, I'm what do we call it? Buddha Magog.
Gizmuda, Budagwai,
Yeah,
whatever
Budagwai. I'm
Budagwai.
Budagwai, and Matt is
Gizmuda's great.
you. All right.
yeah. Gizmuda's pretty lit. But I also the raisin's pretty fucking sick.
Well, I mean, I'm just thrilled to be the raisin because, like, the raisin's my number one guy. It's my favorite feature of this entire apartment.
He looks obliterated too. Like,
yeah, well, his pineal gland is open. He
Yeah.
split the G. He's going to town.
He's meeting the machine elves as we speak.
Oh yeah, he's doing a secret handshake with the machine elf.
All right, are we ready?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm
But he isn't
debating.
ready, but
well,
he's-
I'm debating which one I want to give to either of you. Is the
Ooh,
thing, you know?
Okay, all right.
I don't know if you do that, man. When you're like, who should get?
Oh
each
yeah,
cheddar.
sure. I want
Yeah.
to find. I want to find the show spicy.
Mhm.
Yeah, me too. All right, Jake.
Mm-hmm.
Winter Olympic event.
Winter Olympic event.
Yes.
Okay.
Nice.
Matthew, a fast food chain. And I'm gonna vamp.
I got it.
I got
okay.
it. I got it
you
too.
both got it?
Yeah.
I want to hear from Jake first
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you've gone second every time so far.
Yeah, Jake, you got it.
Run
Where's
it up.
yours?
There's snow falling all around us.
Here
Oh
we
my
go.
god, I'm there.
The crowd is a roar. Little children are cheering on. A nation will soon have its pride vaulted to the moon. And what are we all here for? The giant slalom. An event so incredible, so momentous, that they couldn't just do a regular slalom. They had to make it big. They needed to ski more. I struggle even to think of anything that could hold a candle to the giant slalom. And I would like to hear what you think could possibly.
Well, I'll gladly tell you about that, Jake. Jake, my friend, let me tell you about it.
Mhm.
Giant slalom. Try a giant bee, the best mascot for the best fast food chain. It's Jollibee.
Ooh.
Brr, 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 brr. It's Jollibee. Let's fucking go. It's Jollibee. Jollibee is fucking awesome. It has the best mascot. That bee is so fucking lovely. It's Filipino food, which I think is interesting. That, like, first of all, we just don't get a lot of like Filipino food in America. I like that it's like distinct and it's fast food, so it's like it's fast and easy and accessible. While also being like of a culture that we don't get a lot of the food of. I think that's really cool and really fun. And also, like, as far as off the top of my head, what do they sell at Jollibee? I'll tell you one thing I know they sell at Jollibee: spaghetti.
Yeah, I was going to say spaghetti too.
It's spaghetti, and I think that's so fucking awesome. Pull up at a fast food place and get yourself some spaghetti. Hell fucking yeah. Spaghetti and meatballs, spaghetti and tomato sauce at least, is just one of the most popular meals in all of America. I can only imagine the entire fucking world. And to be able to get that at your fast food place is like, it's been a gap in American fast food. You got your burgers, which is good. People like their burgers. You can get your hotting dog or your chicky sando or whatever you like.
Your hotting dog?
Your hotting dog
Okay.
or your chicky sando, whatever you like.
Uh-huh.
But what's missing is the spaghetti, and that's where Jollibee comes in. And I'm sure our moderator and fact checker will perhaps fill us in on some other things they sell at Jollibee.
Do you know
Yeah.
what's in Filipino spaghetti though?
Probably some like different spices or
Hot dogs.
hot dogs.
Yeah.
Yes. even better. All right. I yield my time.
So yeah, just to fill y'all in, the other main thing is chicken.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fried chicken.
Joy, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah.
like basically it's looking like fried chicken and some looks like a really fire sauce, and then yeah, of course the other items you mentioned, the
Spaghetti.
spaghetti.
Listen, Filipino spaghetti is a very interesting thing, and it definitely catapults Jollibee to the top of the list of fast food chains, at least. But Filipino spaghetti is made of hot dogs and often banana ketchup, which is disconcerting. It's unpredictable. But you know what is predictable? You know what you can always depend on? Going in this motion all the way down the hill, never changing, always consistent, trying to be the fastest. We can all
or
appreciate
you
that,
crash
right?
and burn.
Or you crash and burn, but that's the thrill of it.
So that isn't predictable then. If it were so predictable, when you're saying it's predictable, what I hear is boring. What I hear is that this is a boring event where you're watching the exact same thing happen over and over and over, and sometimes someone's faster than someone else.
You just don't get it. I think it's I think it's because you have no regard for national pride.
That must be it.
You know, like you're ungrateful for everything this country gives you.
I get fucking deported because of this episode.
Yeah. I personally am grateful for all of the great American skiers who skied down many a mountain in Canada, in China, in Norway, in a fourth country where there was a Winter Olympics.
They do those in more countries.
Yeah.
I don't even know when the last Norway
and I am
one
thankful
was.
for them. And only them.
Russia?
Yeah, they did it in Russia.
Seoul?
Pyeongchang.
Pyongyang.
No, Pyeongchang. They didn't do it in Pyongyang.
Oh.
Yeah, because Pyongyang is the capital of North Korea,
Right.
I think. And Pyeongchang
Really?
is just a mountain in South Korea.
And what I'm saying is American giant slalomers, giant slaloms to keep us safe. And I'm personally very grateful for that.
They do nothing for our safety. You know who helps our safety? The Jollibee, the mascot.
I
who will
totally thought you were going to say the cops for a
the
second.
cops.
Curtis
No.
Sliwa.
No, I think okay, now I'm gonna amend our militia. Yes, we are all dressed as cardinals, but also we also have the Jollibee. I'm inviting the Jollibee to be a part of our militia.
That's our mascot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, not our mascot.
Our leader.
Jollibee's already a
in the-
mascot.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's a
fair
mascot
enough.
for Jollibee. The Jollibee's the mascot for Jollibee. No. The Jollibee is just a part of our militia as a friend and a protector.
Mhm.
Duh. Look, the Jollibee would be a great member of our militia. Any militia would be lucky to have him. A giant bee who can protect with his stinger and such, but also his can-do attitude. He's a smiley guy. And look, so you think the banana stuff is disconcerting. I gotta disagree. That sounds fucking awesome to me. Seriously, I love because bananas, not unlike a plantain. I think plantains are very delicious in a lot of different contexts, and I think putting the banana in is it's a challenge to the American palate. I think we need. I think the American palate goes extremely unchallenged. Like we have this economy that allows us like all sorts of food from all over the place, but the only way people will stomach it here is if we make it more like everything else. So it's this sort of give and take. But I think that's just we need that challenge of some banana sauce on our like hot dogs and spaghetti, which like sincerely I gotta go to Jollibee because sincerely like hot dogs and spaghetti and like a banana sauce sounds so fucking like amazing and interesting to me. I can't wait to go there.
We should go, Matt.
Yeah.
I'm so keen.
There's one in
Times Square, I
There's
think,
one
right?
there's one in Times Square. I was gonna say there's one in Journal Square in Jersey City. If you want
Yeah.
to go that far.
Yeah, but there's one in Midtown I know, and I just think our militia needs to take a trip there
Mhm.
Oh, yeah. A
because
militia lunch.
Well, we got to go pick up the Jollibee.
yeah, we
True,
gotta pick up
yeah.
Jollibee.
Do you know what else is a challenge to the American palate?
What?
The taste of Norwegian defeat. Something that we only get to experience once every 4 years for the Winter Olympics in the giant slalom, and God willing,
Is America that good at this event?
I have no idea.
I think Norwegians probably blow our asses out at giant slalom.
Well, God willing, we will taste Norwegian defeat in 2026.
Yeah, I mean, fuck the Norwegians and
fuck the Norwegians.
But look, I just think this game is so it's childish.
It's not a game.
It's a game.
It
and
is life.
You just zig and zag down Big Hill.
You just zigging and zagging, just zigging and zagging. They're only bringing American culture to the gutless savages of the North.
Well, and that's likewise how
Am I
feel.
allowed to say that?
Of
Yeah.
course. It's a
Okay.
Christian podcast. You can say
It's
whatever
a
you
Christian
want.
podcast. You can say whatever you want. We're a free speech Christian podcast.
Right.
Well, and likewise, I think Jollibee is about bringing like delicious cuisines to like the gutless savages of America.
Giving them guts.
Yeah, give them guts. Well, I mean, yeah, right. I mean, hot dogs are typically made of like stuffed in some sort of intestinal shell, right?
Mm-hmm.
and I would imagine Filipino hot dogs are made similarly.
I can
One
only
could
assume.
imagine.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't expect you to be the expert on. You knew that much, which was more than I knew, but nevertheless,
I know about interesting foods, you know.
yeah. I think Jollibee. There's no great mascot. Every Olympics they bring in like a new mascot, and not a single Olympic mascot in all of history has stuck.
That's a great point. But you know what has stuck? The NBC peacock, which emblazons every Winter Olympics, especially the giant slalom, where the NBC peacock can always be seen prominently alongside the NBC Olympic theme song, which has stuck like a fucking charm. No, wait.
Yeah.
It sounds like it didn't stick like a charm. Oh, the Olympics theme.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's
the
pretty great.
NBC Olympics theme specifically.
Oh, okay. Well,
NBC made that.
yeah. It's pretty
I
good.
thought Pharrell made that.
Well, maybe Pharrell made it for NBC,
Yeah,
but as far as
okay.
I'm concerned, it's like that and then SNL for NBC. You know?
Well, and
Yeah,
they
the Olympics.
it was on NBC. The NBA used to have the.
Oh yeah, sure. All jingles over there, jingles and peacocks.
Their jingles are pretty good. I also would just like to mention to our listeners that the next Winter Olympics is this coming up winter 2026 in Milano.
Really?
Milan.
Milano Cortina.
Milano.
Northern Italy.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty
okay.
cool.
I've
I think
heard they have mountains there.
They do, and they're gonna have slalom there.
They're gonna have slalom there.
Well, so the thing is, you talk about these like, oh, what do you do with a massive hill? You just do you zigzag down it and defeat the gutless savages of Norway.
Right.
I see a big mountain and I see an opportunity to bulldoze it and put a Jollibee there.
Wait, so that actually is what I'd like to actually transition. I have two questions for both of you. It's the same question. So be thinking, I want to know, where would you think the next Winter Olympics should be, and where you think the next Jollibee location should open?
The one after Milan.
Yeah, or just the theoretical next one.
Okay.
I'll say I think the next Jollibee should be in Fallujah 2003. I think our boys needed some Jollibee.
They needed some fucking hot dog spaghetti.
They needed some hot dog spaghetti with banana sauce to get them through and take out Saw once and for all. Take out that jigsaw
Take
motherfucker.
out the jigsaw.
once and
Fucking
for all.
puppet.
We'd have been out of there so fast.
We've been in and out.
If there was a Jollibee there, they could have taken out Jigsaw like that. That's my answer.
And the Winter Olympics.
Yeah, where
You have
should
to-
the, where should
yeah,
the
you
Winter
both
Olympics
answered.
Oh,
be?
we both answered both.
Yeah.
Okay, Winter Olympics, I would also say Fallujah 2003.
Oh, yeah.
I think it would have been crazy if at that time there was also a Winter Olympics. In the middle of the desert, and there's a war going on. I think because that's
There's weapons of mass destruction there, but we don't want to jeopardize the festivities.
well,
you
that's
know?
I think that's what the Winter Olympics deserves. I think that game I think your game is silly, and I think it deserves to be played in the desert
It's
where they can't
not
even get
a
snow.
game.
All right, those are my answers.
My answers are also the same place. The magnetic South Pole. I think it's time to bring the Emperor Penguins a taste of some culture in the form of both Jollibee and the Winter Olympics.
Hell
Those
yeah.
two things are the things that the Penguins need the most. Like you saw Happy Feet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you saw Happy Feet, right?
No, I've never seen Happy Feet.
You've never seen Happy Feet?
No.
It's not as good as Surf's Up. Honestly, Happy Feet was depressing and mid. I think Surf's Up is a superior
How
penguin
about March of the
film.
Penguins?
Happy Feet is a little bit depressing, but you forget that at the end they solve industrial overfishing by dancing.
Oh, that's pretty cool. That's the
sick.
George Miller touch right there.
And I'm just saying, like, those penguins clearly were smarter than anyone gave them credit for in Happy Feet. But if they had a Jollibee and a Winter Olympics, they'd be in fucking space, you know?
Maybe with the machine
we
elves.
can all agree with
Yeah,
that.
they'd be on Mars by now. They'd have beaten Elon there.
And I'll give you a little concession here, and that is I do think that the Penguins would greatly enjoy your game.
Yeah, they would probably participate, honestly.
Yeah. Toboggan style.
Yeah.
Opa.
Yeah.
I think I'm ready to hear some closing statements, unless you want to duke it out a bit more.
No,
I'm good for
close.
closing
All right,
statements.
awesome. Let's hear from Matthew first.
Yeah, I think Jollibee is like a beacon of delight in this desolate world. I think The food's great. It's interesting. It's a good cross cultural exchange. I think the fools of America need it. They need something different. And I think it would have we would have gotten out of Iraq so much faster if there was one in Fallujah. And I think it's just it's such amazing food and culture. Great mascot, definitely part of our militia. And on the flip side, your game, this event. I'll give it that much respect. This event is just a big version of a small event. And it's just zigzagging down a hill, and there's no variety to it. It's just who can do this thing a little bit faster. They don't even do it at the same time, so it's not really like the excitement of a race. It's they take one at a time, and they all look like they've taken the same amount of time, and you have to have a clock to tell you whether or not they actually did it faster or slower. I yield my time.
All right, let's go, Jake.
Jollibee, for all of its spaghetti and hot dogs and chicken joy, cannot hope to carve through the desolation of this world. The shout simply dies out in the great arid wind of the injustice and the impotence of our leaders. You know? The world is not as simple as something that can be solved with fried chicken. It's a complex thing, and it moves. It's a living thing. It moves back and forth, this way and that, as we cascade towards the inevitable equilibrium. But as we get there, we have no idea. We have no idea how quickly we will get there, or which way we will be going. And something that comforts me is that we can mimic that experience with the giant slalom. And the giant slalom reminds me that no matter how buffeted we are, how back and forth we go, we are always speeding towards the end point at the bottom of a mountain as the city of Oslo goes up in flames. Thank you.
Wow. There's only one thing I have to say to that, though. Chicken jockey!
Ah!
I'm giving it to Jollibee. I think
Yeah,
Jollibee won.
it's all right.
Yeah, no, but hell of a fight, man. I mean,
thank you.
It's easy when it's 2v1 and we were you got tired out of the stamina. Matt had a break in the middle to recharge.
You got no break.
No break.
Yeah.
But that's what we like to do in this podcast is torture our guests.
Mhm.
But
I'm quite hungry now. I think you did a great job.
Yeah,
I started to get really hungry when you talked about Jollibee. Yeah, that was sick.
I mean,
for all I said about Filipino spaghetti, I want to try that shit so
Me too.
Doesn't
bad.
seem so fucking good.
Yeah, I've never had that. That seems sick.
It
That
sounds
seems so good.
great.
Well, we
like
should
just
go.
sweet and meat and spaghetti. That sounds
oh
awesome.
my god, the militia's got to go.
Holy shit, the militia's
gotta
gonna
go to
pull up.
Jollibee.
Yeah.
Jollibee, come out to play.
Beautiful.
Oh man.
Well, Jake, thank you so much for coming on. Do you have anything you'd like to plug? This is going to come out in probably the end of this month. So
The end of the month?
yeah. So
In that case, if you want to come out to Caveat on August 30th, I got a show out there called What Not to Say. It is comedians telling jokes that they can't tell to their therapist, but have to tell to somebody.
that's a great premise.
Yeah.
Is that you producing that?
Yeah, I'm producing it.
Amazing.
I'm very happy with the premise. As of recording, it's still very much in progress, but I'm hoping to have an absolutely killer lineup. It's going to be on a nice summer afternoon, a Saturday afternoon.
Amazing.
And hoping to get a lot of people in there. Hoping to see you guys there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. What where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram primarily at let_m_eat_Jake. Let him eat Jake. I think it'll come up if you just search my name, Jake Seifert, in Instagram as well, though. Thank you guys very much for having me.
Dude, of
I
course.
look forward to hopefully being here again somewhere down the road.
Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely. Well, and folks, this has been Apples and Oranges. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you at Jollibee.